The second element is the nuclear. I have spoken about the nuclear aspect, but another point that I would like to highlight to this to the people who are majority people from United States. Pakistan expects fair play, justice, and concern on its interests, and Pakistan's interests happen to be their nuclear capability, happen to be the issue of Kashmir. Therefore, I would say that in Pakistan there is a perception that United States is given unequal treatment to Pakistan being a nuclear state and India being a nuclear state, and we expect equality in this, because otherwise the people of Pakistan, who again are in the lead role in fighting terrorism, certainly this kind of an attitude does not encourage positive responses from the people of Pakistan. So I would, yes, certainly say in United States that we ought to be conscious of Pakistan's concerns and sensitivities on its national interests. Yes, indeed.
And we have time for one last question. Ma'am.
Good evening, General Musharraf. Assalamu alaikum. I'm an ex-embassy spouse, and I've worked in over 15 different countries, and I wholeheartedly agree with your statement about the conflict between Israel and Palestine causing interfaith conflict and, more importantly, world terrorism. My question to you, and it's a difficult one, we've had, quote, diplomacy for many years. It hasn't worked, or at least it has not achieved peace among these two groups that are causing conflict throughout the world. As a diplomat yourself, I have two-part questions. What limitations or demands and what incentives would you give to Israel and to Palestine? And secondly, what new players would you incorporate in this arena of negotiation and diplomacy?
You're talking of, I'm not very clear on what you asked. What did I contribute towards?
The first question would be, what limitations or demands would you place on Israel and Palestine as a negotiator? And secondly, what incentives would you give each group, whether economic or political, for them to play better? And secondly, what new players would you incorporate into the negotiation team?
Yeah, I had an idea when I in fact launched an initiative. I saw that in resolution of the Palestinian dispute, the United States is not acceptable in the Muslim world, because United States is thought to be too much pro-Israel in the Muslim world. At the same time, I thought there is a requirement of including the non-Arab Muslim world into negotiations as a new entity which may be more acceptable to Israel. So therefore, I thought maybe Turkey, Pakistan, Malaysia, and Indonesia, and the European Union could be a good body to try to move the peace process forward. European Union being maybe more acceptable to the Muslim world, and the other 4 countries may be more acceptable to Israel. So that was an initiative, maybe, but I couldn't pursue it to any solid contribution in that field. But quite clearly, in resolution of this dispute, there are 3 issues involved. One is the issue of Jerusalem, the other is the issue of settlements, and the third issue is the issue of refugees, the Palestinian refugees. These are the 3 areas which need resolution. I can't say anything more than that, but I will add to this my experience with diplomacy, that when you are moving forward towards resolution of disputes, like I was moving forward on the Kashmir dispute with Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, I always used to say that there are three qualities required to resolve a dispute in the leaders who are negotiating. Firstly, a sincerity is required, sincerity to resolve the dispute. Secondly, flexibility is required, that don't come with preconditions which won't be acceptable to the other party in any case. So a flexibility with an open mind. And lastly, which is very important, boldness is required. Boldness, because any peace deal requires give and take. It cannot be a take and take. Nobody will allow that. So where negotiations stall is when you have to give something, and without giving you cannot take. So that is where leaders show lack of courage, because when you give something, there will be some people in your own public who are going to be against that deal which you strike. Therefore, we don't move forward. So I only can say that I hope on this Palestinian issue, while President Obama has initiated a process where, may I say, that he is certainly more acceptable in the Muslim world. He is able to come out with fresh initiatives to move the peace process forward, and we come to a resolution of the dispute amicably to the betterment of both Israel and the Muslim world. I mean, I can't say anything more than that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Musharraf. Thank you very much, President Musharraf, and thank you for being with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was marvelous. That was really wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you.